Alright, what's going on everyone? Today we're going to be upgrading another one of these starter decks. But first, if I sound a little sick, it's because I am. I'm recovering from the Rona. I'm fine. I'm like 90% over it. I'm just a little congested still and a little not low energy and not feeling great. But we'll start with, we're going to upgrade Spellweaver today. If you want to upgrade one of these decks, you need to highlight it. Go down here, there's a clone option, we'll click that. And this is going to put a copy of it into your decks here. So we can click here, and this is editable. You can edit this because it's editable. That makes sense. You might need to click here and switch it over to standard because it defaults to alchemy, which is really stupid, but whatever. So how does this deck work? Pretty simple. It's a Spells Matters deck. There's stuff like Festival Crasher, gets pumped when we play spells. There's Sparring Painter, gets pumped when we play spells. Storm Skrillex, which gets pumped when we play spells. And then there's tons and tons and tons of spells. So that's the idea. We're just a spell slinging Izzet deck. And the problem with this deck is all of these spell payoffs just kind of suck. You know, they're fine. No, they're not fine. They suck. Festival Crasher, Sparring Painter, and Storm Skrillex all kind of suck. So we're just going to fix that because that's the biggest problem. We just need to make our payoffs better. First off, I want to take out 2 of these Storm Skrillexes. So the problem with these, 5 mana, by the time we play this, a lot of times we can just not have any spells left in hand. It's just really late for a spell payoff that cares about future spells cast. So instead I want to take these out and replace them with 2 of these Seize the Storm here. This thing is excellent. It just makes a token that has power and toughness equal to our spell count in our graveyard and in exile of flashback cards in exile. So the reason this is so good is it's a late game payoff just like that Skrillex, but it doesn't require us to continue to cast spells. It's going to give us a big creature that's big based on how many spells we've already cast, which is more what you want to do in the late game. These tokens are sweet. I mean, this art is sweet. I love the art on this card. But yeah, these tokens are excellent. You're going to start winning games just with these tokens because they're amazing. Next, I want to take out the Festival Crasher here. I want to replace them with a few Thermo Alchemist right here. So these are very similar in that they're 2 mana and they give us a payoff for casting spells. The problem is this can just be blocked. There's times where you can just play 3 or 4 spells in a turn and make this huge. Doesn't matter, this gets blocked. Thermo Alchemist deals damage straight to the opponent, and a very important aspect of this, remember that you always want to tap this every time you cast a spell. Fortunately, on Magic Arena, it's very good at reminding you because even if it's untapped, when you cast a spell, the untapped trigger will still go onto the stack. I'll put a little video here so you can see what I'm talking about. So even if you forget to tap it, that untapped trigger will pop up, and then you could say, oh yeah, I need to tap my Thermo Alchemist. You can tap it, get the damage, then let that untapped trigger resolve and untap it. And basically every single spell you play, you're guaranteed to deal a damage. But another thing that's really great about Thermo Alchemist, even if you're flooded or something and you just don't have spells, it's still dealing 1 damage per turn. You leave this untapped and you tap it at the end of your opponent's turn when you're about to take your turn. That way it can sit on defense and block and then deal a damage. So it's basically 1 damage every turn no matter what, plus adding an extra damage on top of every spell we play. And it's always untapped because you only tap it when it's about to untap, whether it's about to untap from a spell being cast or about to untap at the beginning of your upkeep. So basically it's a blocker all the time and also just constantly deals damage. Much better than this Festival Crasher, which requires our opponent to not have blockers, which isn't a guarantee. So these go out and these can go over here. Much better. So similarly, this Sparring Painter has all the same problems. It could be huge and amazing if we get it on turn 3 and our opponents don't have blockers, but a lot of times it just feels kind of weak. I just want to take one of these out, get another one of these Thermo Alchemists in. I just think that's better. And then I just want to get more spells in the deck. So I'm going to take out one of these and I'm going to add a Consider, 4th copy of Consider. Consider, not that exciting, 1 mana, look at the top card, you can put it in your graveyard, draw a card, but it's just a spell. We want to cast spells, lots and lots of spell casting. Mostly, I just want to draw cards and draw cards and draw cards until I can hit these Seize the Storms. These Seize the Storms are amazing, probably going to be the major reason you win most of your games. And yeah, I just want more card draw for that. So, continuing with that theme, I'm going to take out another Sparring Painter, and I want to add another Arcane Infusion. This is just look at the top 4, reveal an instant or sorcery, put it in your hand. Has flashback, can find, seize the storm, which again is like my main win condition now. So perfectly happy with that. And this is, I would say, like basically done. That's it. That's all we needed to do. We just needed to fix those payoffs. I would say if there's anything else I want to do with rares, I would say I want more of these smoldering eggs. Once again, it's a great defender, 0-4, blocks against aggro decks, which can be very important. The hardest matchups we're going to have with this deck are going to be against aggro decks that just put pressure on us too fast. So I would love a couple of these, and I would take out Wandering Mind. This card's actually pretty sweet. I like it a lot, but we need to make our deck better against aggro decks. So personally, if we're going to spend a couple rare wild cards, I would take out these Wandering Minds, and I would put in 2 Smoldering Eggs. Gives us another blocker early, and gives us a big flyer late to win the game with. And that's, I would say, pretty much fine. I'm pretty happy with this deck. I would say the only thing I'm a little bit iffy on, maybe Geist Flame Reservoir could be taken out for, I don't know, like another Arcane Infusion, but I don't think that's necessary. You could also improve the mana base, of course. You could take out 3 of these, add 3 of these, and of course we'll get more dual lands and like Dominaria United and stuff, so we could replace these basics with more duals. But yeah, I think that's fine right there. Our payoffs are much better. Like I said, I was fine with most of the spells on this deck. We're mostly just trying to churn through cards, draw, and then make huge elementals. It's basically what the deck's doing right now, and it works pretty well. I actually like this deck a lot. It's probably my favorite out of all the decks. I've had a lot of fun playing with this deck, and yeah, just you'll see, you'll win lots of games with these elemental tokens. Also, it really sucks when they get bounced. So not fun, but that's just the price you pay, I guess. But yeah, try it. We used technically 2 rares if you craft the Smoldering Eggs. If not, this was a 0 rare upgrade and should be much more consistent. So hopefully that's helpful. Sorry I'm sick. It kind of sucks, but whatever. Hopefully this deck doesn't suck. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.